Hello, my name is Katie Morse, and in this tutorial, I'll be making an object appear to be spooky when the player walks up to it. So, for it could be any object. So what I did is I looked up skulls in the Dreamverse, and then what you're gonna do, it can be any objects, but I'm gonna use a skull for the example. You're gonna have a trigger zone. You're gonna apply it, and then you can change the trigger zone where you want it to be triggered. So I'm going to leave that sphere. If you have a player, an enemy, or a foe you want to like interact with it or come in close range and like have it pop up, you can change the labels right here. Since we do not have a character right now, I'm just going to leave it just for everyone to interact with. And then I'm going to drag the trigger zone to the skull, and then I'm going to make it bigger. So when something does walk upon it, it does trigger the event. And then what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to create a timeline. So you go to guide, or not guide, gadgets, and then you go to, actually, no, you go to animate, and then you go to timeline, and then you stamp it into our scene. Then you'll connect the triggers now to the timeline, like so. And then with the timeline, you'll open it with L1 plus X, and then you'll stamp a camera into the scene, like so. And then with the camera, if you did not know this, you can hold L1 and X to get that perfect camera view. For me, it's going to be probably, that's a little too close. So about right here should be good. So, and to exit the camera, you'll press L1 and circle. And then I think I'm going to do, to make it more appear like a cutscene versus kind of like a regular scene, you're going to go to camera, and then down here it says display black bars, excuse me. And when you press that, it'll make it look like a cutscene. So if I actually put it towards the beginning and play it, actually you won't be able to see it, I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go to my gadgets tool and then add an effect, like grades and effects. And then I'm going to stamp it onto here. And then in here you can go to your screen effects, and then you can create a vignette effect to your camera. So when the camera comes in, it'll create that effect. And then also too, what I usually do is I apply a grain, so it's kind of a little bit like a spooky movie or a scary movie you would see if you look through a camera screen. And then I'm going to put that where the camera is so it plays at the exact same time the camera does. And then I'll teach you a few extra things. You don't have to do this. I'll teach you it right after I show this. So basically what you're going to do then, you're going to grab a character. And since we have one character, we don't have to do the tags. That's mainly used for when you have a lot of characters or you have multiple characters that are going to be playing like in multiplayers and things like that. So let me go to prizes. Let's add Kitso in here. And then I'm going to play the scene. And then when I get close, you'll do that effect. And then of course you can always change it, like how long you want it, how long you want the screen to go there. You can also change it to where if you actually make it into a keyframe with the camera, you can make it for it stays there for so it's permanent that it stays there. Or if you want to move something in the background, like an effect, you can also do that with the timeline. I'm going to just show you how to do, as an extra thing, how to actually make your screen shake. And I'll also show you a rumbler. I can't, well, demonstrate it, the rumbler part, but I can at least show you how to get started with it. So you're gonna apply a camera shaker to your timeline about the same time as everything else. Then you're gonna go into it, and the camera shaker So the strength is basically, it's how strong the camera shakes, and then this is how fast it shakes. I usually put it on about 40%. And then also I'll show you how to do the rumbler. So basically after you do that, it's already applied to the camera. If you want to make your camera stay there for longer, you will have to extend everything else to match up. Either that, or you can do a kind of blender effect with some things. Also, if you want to change grades, like you want to be vignette 1 minute and then change to a different color, you can do that as well. I'll also show you that really quick too. But let me show you the rumbler. So you'll go to movers and outputs, and then you'll go to the end where it has this controller, and it's called rumbler, and then you'll attach it. So what this does, it rumbles your controller. So for DualShock, whenever you do something, it rumbles the controller. That's what this does. So when the camera starts up, it'll rumble the controller until the end. So I'll show you what it looks like now. So it's a little spooky, isn't it? Also, I'll show you how to change the effects. So I'm going to clone this by L1 and R2. And then I'm going to change the color of the screen by L1 and square. You can, or not square, L1 and X, actually. Oops. No, never mind. I was right. L1 square. Sorry. Okay, it's a little confusing sometimes. You can change your shadows, your midtones, and your highlights. I'm going to show you how to change the look of the vignette. So it's like a red. And then, let's see. Then you're going to go to hue selectivity. And that's how red it's going to be. And then hue affected. So it picks a hue to apply and use the hue and how much you want to match to it. About 40%. So when we reset everything and press play, we should get a red screen as well. Like that. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope it was helpful.